Joining us now to talk about what this means for small businesses is Javier Palomarez. He's the president and chief executive of the United States Hispanic Business Council. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. What are the small businesses that worry you most as this strike continues?
Well, Chris, as has been already mentioned, this is a significant impact to the American economy, but particularly small businesses. The economic cost right now is estimated at $5 billion a day. Some 45,000 longshoremen or dock workers are on strike, and it's from Maine all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charleston, Savannah, Miami, New Orleans, all the way to Houston, all the small businesses up and down that corridor, if they're in manufacturing, in food and agriculture, if they have anything to do with automobile parts or putting together elements of an automobile. These are businesses that are right in the zone, and it's a very scary time. In the agricultural industry alone, about 15% of all of our agricultural exports go through these ports. So any small business owner, rancher, farmer in soy, in dairy, in raw meats, corn, things of that nature, they are right in the zone, and it's a very, very difficult time.
I was talking earlier this week with someone who owns car dealerships in New Jersey, and they were anticipating about 20 days is when they will start feeling the impact of this strike. But then I think of a lot of the small grocery stores, a place that, bananas
Absolutely.
Is one of the products that have been really impacted. A lot of them come through Wilmington, Delaware's port. How soon could some of these businesses that rely on the food that comes through these ports be impacted?
They're being impacted now. I think by this weekend, we will begin to see the impact. When you got a large corporation, they are able to pre-purchase inventories long in advance, particularly this time of year, stocking up for the holiday season. So they're in a much better position. They also, if you look at it from the supplier, the manufacturer standpoint, the wholesaler standpoint, if they have any inventory at all, they're going to call up their biggest buyers and send whatever they have to the biggest buyers. In either case, the little guy is left out of the equation, and we are at the mercy of whatever transpires here during the strike. So small businesses are basically left with two options. You either lower your inventory, which is going to impact your sales, or you increase your prices, which is going to impact your sales. So it's a very difficult situation for the small business owner. And I'm just hopeful that we will come to a resolution that very quickly puts this thing to bed and allows us to get back to business.
I remember back to post-pandemic times when the supply chains were strained and you had container ships off the coast. Many of them, there was that backup just trying to get into the ports. I guess moving forward, even if there is a deal, how long does it take to actually recover from the damage that this strike could do?
That remains to be seen, and certainly it's going to go from one industry and a business to the other. There's a lot of factors here. But, if you look at, for example, we're mostly concerned right now with food services, agriculture, and manufacturing. If you look at those broad industries, those broad sectors, there's over 4,600,000 American small businesses that are in those sectors. And those are the ones that are going to get hit first and potentially the hardest. And so for those industries, it is a very difficult time. The phones are ringing all over the place, not a solution to be found. Extended delays are going to exacerbate the situation. And again, I think ultimately, and if not within a week or two, it's going to lead to price increases. Ultimately, it could go to layoffs. And sadly, if this goes long enough, it will go into business closures.
And we certainly don't want to see that. What is your advice to small business owners right now? Certainly there's the reality of having to raise prices potentially, but what's your advice of what they can do at this moment to try to mitigate the impact?
Yeah, I think the average American forgets a couple of very important things when it comes to the American small business community. First of all, we create nearly 70% of all new jobs in this country. It's not the large corporations that do. We do. We are the beating heart of the American economy. And right now, we are still suffering from COVID disruptions. You know, the large organizations, the large corporations, they're doing much, much better right now, and they've almost completely recovered from post-COVID effects. We are still there. In fact, some 80% of American small business owners list supply chain challenges and shortages still as one of their top 4 concerns. So we're not even completely done with COVID. This is simply going to exacerbate an already difficult situation for us. To mitigate, you know, if you can pre-purchase any kind of inventory, but again, that's going to create a financial strain on the business.
Yep.
If you can route your supplies from to other locations or different forms of transportation. But, you know, these are very, very, very tough things to do for the average small business.
And we'll see how this plays out. The strike in its early stages. Hopefully a deal can be reached soon. Javier Palomarez, president of the United States Hispanic Business Council. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Chris.